Hi, this is Miss Hedstrom, and I'm your library media teacher. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a think aloud for you, which is me just sharing how I navigate our databases and our resources as if I were doing this research assignment with you. So, first of all, I want to just dive into our webpage, which I've curated for you. I want to remind you that if you go under academics and then you can click library, you'll have access to all of our databases. I've actually linked them right here. If you click the photo at the top, you'll see our webpage here. But certainly you're welcome just to navigate and begin by starting off with the databases that I believe will be the best places to begin. Just as a reminder, if you're off campus, you'll actually need to put in passwords to access our databases. But if you click here, that'll load a Google Doc that you can save with all of the passwords. On campus, you won't need to worry about it. And sometimes you may just need to be prompted to log into your Google student account in order to access everything. So let's dive in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the first database here, Global Issues and Context. If I just click on it, I can then search for my term in the top left here. You would type in your own term here, and you'll notice it suggests some terms to me. Paternalistic attitude comes up, or approach. Some of those could be helpful if you need to narrow down your search. But I'm just going to stick with the word itself. And one very important thing I want to point out to you is that the very first things that pop up are viewpoint essays. So those are biased essays where people have an opinion and they want to argue. It's not that they aren't valid, but in the case of this assignment, I know what I want is just a straightforward definition and an example. So in that case, reference would be better. Reference are like encyclopedia articles, and I can scroll down to see 3 that they highlight. But if I want to see all 67 in this case, all I need to do is click the word reference. So on my results page, I can scroll through and look at some of the topics and headings in the publishing. I'm just going to dive in and click the first one because it is called paternalism. And right away, if I start reading it, one of the things I realize is that it is considered a level 5, which means it's a pretty academic article. It's pretty meaty. It's going to take me a little time to unpack some of the vocabulary. And so what I want to do is always encourage you to skim an article, look for the headings. You don't always just have to read it word for word from beginning to end. Certainly what you can do, and one of the best tips I give to students, and hopefully you do this already, is use the Command F or Control F, depending on if you have a Mac or not. You'll be able to search within a web page or an article. So in this case, I know I'm looking for the definition, so I'm going to just type in definition, and sure enough, it takes me to a section that actually covers that. So that's handy, and now I can take my time and really read this section. One of the things you can do with with Gale, is you can actually take notes on the article itself. All you need to do is highlight the text that you want to copy or add a note about. You can choose your color, whatever is your fancy, and then you can make a note for yourself. So maybe I would say, this could be a good quote. And if I save it, then what I can do is I can save it to my Google Drive here, and then I will have a folder in my Google Drive just for Gale, and the highlights and the notes will be there. So that's a really great, cool feature that I hope it benefits you too. I want to quickly show you EBSCOhost is a similar thing. You'll be able to save to your Google Drive. I have some search tips here on how to navigate it. And we also have a specialized encyclopedia that will be helpful for this assignment. So the Encyclopedia of Race and Racism. This is an ebook, and I can search within the publication here. I've already searched for paternalism before, so it remembered that. And unfortunately, I don't see an article right away. Now, that doesn't mean that some of these articles don't talk about paternalism. And certainly if I click on them and I do the same thing as we did before, and I type in a search term, I can quickly find out where in the article the word is referenced. It's also highlighted often if it's your search term. But in this case, Nothing pops out immediately. I would spend a little bit more time looking, but I also want to highlight for you what we call academic search engines. So most of us go straight to Google, and we often think that maybe Google is the only search engine we can use, but there's actually search engines that just focus on academic results. You've probably heard of Google Scholar, which is one, but I also recommend RefSeek or Semantic Scholar. They're very similar and they do similar things. So let me just demonstrate that for you right now. I'm going to just type in paternalism, and I get an Encyclopedia Britannica article on it. So this is great because it defines it for me. It gives me some history, and I know this is a trustworthy source, right? Wikipedia, I tell students that it can be a good place to start, but you never want to cite it, right? Because anyone can edit Wikipedia, and sometimes they are terrible articles. Um, but what does help me is using the contents sometimes for search terms, and sometimes the external links at the bottom can be helpful. Sometimes they're terrible. So you always want to be researching with a critical eye. All right, well, I don't want to take too much of your time because I want to let you dive in and start researching, but I hope this was helpful. Please know that you can email me, you can swing by the library. I'm always happy to help you with any research needs. Good luck, have fun. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.